The mage sits alone in his crooked, vine-covered tower, surrounded by the faint hum of old magic. Erendor stares at the parchment where he writes his name and rules every morning, his hand trembling slightly. He pins the parchment above his desk, the words, "Do not cast unless necessary," and every spell costs a memory standing out. Erendor tries to recall how many years he's lived in the tower, but the memory slips away. He remembers losing small things at first, herb names, incantations, his mother's voice whenever he cast spells. Erendor recalls the moment he lost his apprentice's face to a simple light spell, feeling only the ache of grief and absence. He lets the tower decay, refusing to use magic unnecessarily, and endures the aches of age. Night falls, and Erendor is startled by a sudden, desperate knocking at his door. He drops his quill in shock, ink spilling across a list of things he fears forgetting. The knocking comes again, louder and more urgent. Erendor hesitates at the door, feeling the warnings of his magical wards. He calls out for the visitor to go away, his voice rough from disuse. A young woman's voice pleads from outside, saying she can't leave and that only he can stop it. Erendor closes his eyes, torn between fear and duty. He reads the parchment's warning, "Do not heal strangers." Despite the warning, Erendor opens the door. The woman collapses forward, catching herself on the threshold, her cloak soaked with blackened, smoking blood. Her eyes meet his, filled with fear and hope. Erendor asks what happened to her, but she insists the blight is spreading and that he fought it before. He admits he doesn't remember fighting the blight. She calls him Erendor Malrek, Archivist Mage, and says he sealed the vein. The title Archivist echoes in Erendor's mind, feeling significant but empty. He tells her that if he helped before, he paid for it with memories. She acknowledges the cost, her voice trembling. Erendor brings her inside the tower. He prepares to heal her, knowing only magic can cure the blight's corruption. The woman lies on his work table, watching him with anxious eyes. She asks what the healing will cost, and Erendor replies, "A memory." She flinches, worried it will be something important. He assures her that the memories lost are always important. Erendor casts the healing spell, silver light pouring from his hands into her wound. The woman screams in pain as the corruption burns away, then falls silent. Erendor staggers back, feeling emptier, and wonders aloud what memory he lost. The woman sits up, telling him he asked her name but never waited for the answer. He frowns, confused, not understanding why he would ask. She reveals they've met before, her voice thick with emotion. Days pass, and Lyra, the woman, tells Erendor about the blight and how he once sealed the heart vein. She explains he wrote the spells that saved everyone, sacrificing his memories for the circle. Erendor searches his tower, finding books and scrolls in his own handwriting that he can barely understand. He confesses to Lyra that he doesn't understand half of what he's written. Lyra, heartbroken, tells him he was the greatest mind of their age. Erendor asks what he is now, and Lyra has no answer. At night, Erendor dreams of nameless faces and silent laughter, waking each morning less certain of himself. Lyra brings news that the blight is causing people to lose memories even without magic. She tells Erendor there's one final spell he created that can seal the heart vein forever. He asks about the cost, already suspecting the answer. Lyra, with tears in her eyes, tells him the cost is everything. Erendor walks alone through his tower at night, touching the walls and finding old carvings of names he no longer remembers. At dawn, he writes a final note. "If you are reading this and do not know your name, the world is safe." Erendor and Lyra descend to the heart vein, a cavern of pulsing black crystal deep beneath the earth. The blight screams as Erendor begins the ritual, its sound clawing at his mind. Lyra watches helplessly from the cavern's edge. Erendor channels powerful magic, each word burning away more of his memories, studies, friendships, fears, even his name. He allows the memories to go, not resisting the loss. The world shakes as the vein seals and the blight collapses inward, destroying itself. Erendor falls to his knees, emptied of memory. Lyra approaches him cautiously, asking if he knows who he is. He looks at her with gentle confusion, saying he doesn't know, but thinks he was someone who wanted to help. Lyra smiles through her tears, telling him that was enough. As the light fades from the cavern, the mage, now free of memory and burden, smiles back, finally at peace.